Welcome back to CVM Live. It's now time for our panel discussion. It's an argument many find intrusive, but there seems to be a greater level of tolerance towards the homosexual community these days. Although not for the first time, a man of the cloth has come out in less than silent support, but voiced openly a willingness to accept as socially and morally equal the members of the gay community. The latest being West Indies Archbishop Reverend Dr. John Holder. Dr. John Holder could not make it tonight, but we're joined by Bishop Dr. Alvin Bailey, President of the Evangelical Alliance, who's totally opposed to the idea, which he deems as a move to further the Anglicans' agenda. What is that agenda? We're going to find out tonight on CVN Live. Good evening, Bishop.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It was put forward recently at a conference of international religious leaders that the Bible is not only sparse on references to homosexuality, but that it should not be used to bash homosexuals. What is your view on that?
Well, I in fact agree that it should not be used to speak, if by bash you mean speak disparagingly, or to ostracize whole persons of that particular distinctive. I would say absolutely not. The Bible doesn't do that. The Bible speaks clearly against the practice of homosexuality, but indeed the Bible embraces and admonishes us to love persons who are sinners and of deviant practices and behaviors. So yes, we love the person, and it is our intention, as is our job, that we want to think, profession, to do everything for the salvation of persons who practice any kinds of deviant behaviors, but certainly not to ostracize, to speak disparagingly, or to cause persons in that community to feel in any way disenfranchised or in fact marginalized in our society.
So what of the view that the Bible does not say anything about anti-buggery laws, does not support the implementation of buggery laws?
I think the fact that Jamaica seems to have, it is said, has more churches per square mile, speaks to a very informed, theologically informed nation. I think none of our churches supports the fact that homosexuality is not a sin. All our churches seem to support the fact that homosexuality, the practice of homosexuality is a sin. The practice of buggery is a sin. And in fact, the present conference in which it is said that, or if they articulate that it is absolutely not a sin, or that the Sodom and Gomorrah laws are teaching does not speak to it, that is where not only in my capacity as bishop, but the average Jamaican know that that is not so. Plus we have many reputable theological institutions in Jamaica, and in none of those institutions it will be thought that homosexuality and buggery is not sin, and the Bible certainly does not embrace this practice.
Bishop Bailey, it is unfortunate that Dr. John Holder could join us tonight,
sure,
as he had planned to. But you described, or you made reference to an Anglican agenda.
Yeah.
What do you see as that agenda to be?
No, it's not an Anglican agenda. We have quite theologically sound Anglicans in Jamaica, and the persons who in fact can articulate the portion of the Bible as it relates to homosexuality and buggery. These persons at this conference have declared themselves as not only Anglican. You might have heard that there was also someone naming today at Seventh-day Adventist and Evangelical there. However, their views are not consistent with the views of the Jamaican churches of the same distinctive that they have described. So, for example, the person who said that they are evangelical, their views and the views of evangelicals in Jamaica and many parts of the world are not consistent with that particular position. So, in fact, it is not a view, it is in fact an agenda of the LGBT community that these persons who are speaking are in support of that agenda. They are sponsored by these persons here to articulate points in the name of denominations and groups that seemingly support. But now that they have spoken, we have realized that indeed they have made mention of teachings and in fact stories in the Bible that is totally contrary, and we know therefore then that maybe, as I said uncomfortably in one article, they are indeed intellectual apostates.
Tell us why they're intellectual apostates. What is your supporting scriptures from the Bible?
No, but for example, the person representing the evangelical churches, that could never and has never been the view of the evangelical churches with respect to buggery and homosexuality.
Can you quote the Bible for us, Bishop?
Well, the Bible clearly says that it's abomination and Romans chapter 1, Exodus chapter 1. I don't think that there's anyone, in fact, who doubt the scripture references. The argument is that those scripture references have other interpretation, but it is explicitly stated. For example, it says God has given them over to their reprobate minds, and among the list of persons that were given over are homosexuals, in that are those who practice homosexuals in that matter. So there's no question as to the biblical quotations. In fact, it is quite explicit on these matters.
But those views evolve over time, and the nature and church also reflects what is also happening in society.
Yes.
And they do have different views, they have different denominations.
Yes.
So church, and isn't this what Anglicans are saying, that as society itself evolves over time, that we have members of society that we have to embrace in different ways and we have to support in different ways?
And let me correct you. The views of the Anglican Church, distinctive in Jamaica, if there is a conflicting view, has not yet been heard. And we do not know that there is a conflicting view of the Anglican Church.
But Dr. John Wood is a senior member of the Anglican Church, he's the Archbishop of Westminster.
He makes himself clear he has not spoken for the Anglican Church, and even his presence here is not on behalf of the Anglican Church. He was invited by the LGBT community to speak at a conference in which he is articulating a view which is largely his own. So,
but isn't that how views are in the church, that somebody steps out of the typical orthodoxy and says, we think that this is a way that we should look at things differently? Isn't that what ideas about?
Well, hence I'm here. The fact is that they have stated their views, or what he might consider a view that is based on his own intellectual position, hermeneutics, homiletics. But the fact is, when we would have studied the same passage, the same text, the same Hebrew, the same Greek, we realize, and I would want to kindly say, that he's more informed by a particular agenda rather than plausible, authentic interpretation of the Hebrew text.
Okay, that's in your opinion.
Pardon?
That's your opinion.
No, not my opinion. In fact, I'm stating a position. Unlike those who are at the seminar, I have discussed, this matter has been clearly discussed with my local denomination, the evangelical community. All the member churches of the evangelical community have discussed this matter, and we are consistent on our position. So I'm not speaking for myself when I make mention of the fact that the homosexual view, as articulated by Dr. Holder, is not consistent with the Bible. I'm speaking for the entire evangelical community on that matter. Whereas he is unable to say that and unable to speak for the Anglicans, he's speaking for himself.
Coming out of the Religious Leaders Conference, it was stated that the reluctance of former colonies to abandon the Buggery laws, it has nothing really to do with religion, but has more to do with culture than morals or religious beliefs.
Yes, and that might very well be true. We must know what we're all about. The church is not society. In fact, the biblical quotation is that we are in the world, but we are not of the world. And Christianity has always been counterculture, as a matter of fact. So the prevailing culture, if not morally wrong and explicitly unbearable, there are often practices that are not consistent with the church because they are extra-biblical, are not consistent with the teachings of Scripture. So it is not strange to find that society's practice and even laws in society are not consistent with the churches and the biblical teachings.
But Bishop Bailey, you made reference, of course, to the LGBT community.
Yes.
And they are a substantial community. They are part of every society.
Sure.
And they're here to stay, of course. But how does the Jamaican Evangelical Alliance, which many of your members might actually be also part of the LGBT community, how do you build bridges between yourselves as a representative of the Alliance and the members of the LGBT community?
Our primary emphasis is not to build bridges.
But that must be something that the church would seek to do. So.
Our primary emphasis is not to build bridges. Our primary emphasis is to have these persons repent, be redeemed, accepted as one of us who, quote unquote, go into heaven, rather than be a part of their community and tolerate the practices that are...
But shouldn't you have to reach out to them and embrace them, as you said earlier?
Most definitely. And so our teaching is compassion, our teaching is love, our teaching is they are created in the likeness and image of Almighty God. Our teachings and our emphasis is to restore the dignity of persons who are God's creation, including these persons who for some reason, unknown to us and unknown to even themselves, have delineated to kind of practices that the Bible speaks against. I mean, likewise, persons who are adulterers and murderers and so on. There are just a number of practices that the Bible has spoken clearly against. And the whole business of the church is to love these persons but to hate these practices, as is the teachings of Jesus Christ. We love every person. Our job is to love them. God commended his love towards us in that while we were yet sinners or sinning, Christ died. And we are not into bashing, we are not into ostracizing, we are not into speaking disparagingly of these persons. But then our primary purpose is not to build bridges. Our primary commitment is to see to their redemption, as Christ died for them as much as he has died for us.
Well, I think everyone is glad to hear that your community loves the lesbian, gay, and transgender community.
Yes.
And you interestingly said that unknown to themselves, they might have a particular dispensation. Now, this dispensation could be chemical, it could be something that persons are born with. How would you reconcile that with the teachings of the Bible?
Can I tell you, the Bible is primarily concerned about the practices of individuals. And our experience is that doesn't matter what your practice is, when you come in the experience of conversion, God has a way of providing the grace for us to abstain from the kind of behaviors that the Bible seems to speak about. My particular deviant might not be homosexuality, but at some point in time, I was incessantly and in fact addicted to a kind of behavior that the Bible speaks out against. When conversion has been brought to our hearts, which we are practitioners of the Christian faith, it brings that change, that desire for that change, and that change that we now become approved of by God. And the Bible speaks clearly that we are to live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. That's the significant distinction between one who the church considers redeemed and saved and one who is lost. The practice of sin, the practice incessant, unabated practice of sin. We don't protect, we do not embrace, and we do not seek to justify our practice of sin. Once you become a Christian, we renounce the evil ways in which we past live, and we seek to live a life that pleases God in holiness, as God says, be ye holy, because I am holy.
Bishop, is your church in support of the amendment of the Sexual Offences Act of Jamaica to widen the definition of rape to include instances where victims are buggered?
Well, sexual intercourse, as far as the church is concerned, is limited to the two opposite organs of a male and a female. And so an insertion elsewhere might not necessarily be consistent with what the church wants to embrace or teach. This topic might be a little bit uncomfortable for some listeners and so on, but if you ask the question, it predisposes to sometimes some language and explanations might not necessarily be very palatable. But the fact is, we cannot see rape in the same way that we see buggering or whatever you want to name it.
So you are supportive
Of what?
that,
Of what?
that rape be included, buggery be included in the definition of rape?
No, I'm not saying that in the least. I don't think it should be. I think that there's a place where it is mentioned, grievous or aggressive action or some other way, but I don't think that it will be consistent to consider it.
Okay, thank you very much. It's now time to see what's happening in the regional and international news. And for that, we join our reporter, Nicole Wilson.